Officials warn Biden is leading the U.S. into a major Middle East war. U.S. officials told HuffPost that no one can rein in Biden and that Israeli officials are hell-bent on a war in southern Lebanon.
No one can rein him in.
Nobody.
Don't give him his talkie pills for the day.
You know, in the end, this is the problem with the way that we set up the system. The one area where a president pretty much has a free hand is in this in matters of war, particularly after 9/11.
Well, just tell him you're doing what he wants. I mean, I assume that's what they're doing anyway.
Yeah, but you know, he gets up in the morning. He thinks he's running the country. There's not too much you can do about it constitutionally. As tensions are soaring in the Middle East due to the brutal Israeli assault on Gaza, U.S. officials are warning that President Biden's decisions could lead to a major regional war. U.S. officials told HuffPost that if Israel provokes a full-blown war in southern Lebanon, the consequences could be catastrophic. Every scenario, quote, every scenario shows this would escalate into something terrible, whether in terms of counterterrorism or war with Iran, unquote, one official said.
Was this No Shit magazine?
Yeah, and really, I mean, you should be terrified reading this, because if you got this high up the food chain that you're privy to these kinds of councils and meetings, and you're saying this, these people are true believers.
I know.
And they're saying this psycho is going to end the world.
I tell Zoomers at every show, you're going to go fight. You're not going to gay your way out. We need you. I'm not going. I'm 46. This ain't Ukraine. You, the pink hair Zoomer, you're going to fight this one out.
I got pins in my ankle. I can't go.
We'll pay for your fake tits if you want, dude, but you're going. You're going?
The official said many in the Biden administration feared unconditional U.S. support for Israel could embolden Israeli officials to expand operations into Lebanon. Last week, Israel significantly escalated the situation by launching a drone strike in Beirut that killed a senior Hamas official who was involved in hostage negotiations.
Is that how they got him? So those hostages are still... They're arranging to get their hostages back, but decided to kill him instead of doing that?
Honestly, I don't think they care if they get the hostages back.
I know
hostages
they don't. Michael Rappaport tried to sell that on his
It's a great
Instagram.
pretext. It's a great pretext to do what they've wanted to do. Just like 9/11 was a great pretext for the deep state and our government to do what they'd wanted to do since the Nixon administration.
Yeah.
A lot of what's in the Patriot
back,
Act was sitting in a drawer in Dick Cheney's house.
If anything, they don't want him back.
No,
what's
they
that?
don't.
Yeah.
If anything, they
It's a
don't want him
problem.
back, because once they get the hostages back, then they can't keep bombing. They can't keep moving the people out.
Right. Quote, I've been trying to keep an avalanche from falling on Lebanon, and so have a lot of people, the U.S. official said. The problem is no one can rein in Biden. And if Biden has a policy, he's the commander in chief. We have to carry it out. That's what it comes down to. Very, very, very unfortunately.
What?
3 verys. That's a lot of varies.
When Trump was in, they didn't say that kind of shit. Oh, the president
Trump only
said
gave
we
you 2
have to.
varies.
Well, Trump, it was 2 varies, and they disobeyed his orders.
Yeah, but the senile one.
Well,
no getting around that guy.
because Biden has more institutional power and backing than Trump ever did. Trump was very isolated. Another U.S. official said that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer are, quote, hell-bent on seizing this moment to expand the war into southern Lebanon and deliver some mythical imagined death blow to Hezbollah. This is what they're trying to do. They want to wipe out the Palestinians from this region.
Right.
And they figure, you know, if in 20 years people want to make a documentary about how wrong it was, well, go ahead.
While we're still fighting
by that time, but yeah.
That's going to be Americans that they're counting on, because they must know the IDF sucks watching them fight. So the idea is America has to come in.
Right.
I've been watching all these phony reps. I can't remember her name. Noe or something. She was on Rappaport and she got on Tim Dillon. And she goes, after 9/11, we knew that Iran was behind it. This bitch is saying Iran did 9/11 with a straight face. Currently? her name
Wow.
is Noah something. She's one of these.
Hang on. She was on with Michael Rappaport.
She was told. Well, he's got pictures with her, but she was on. She said it on Tim Dillon's podcast.
I see.
And just like the obvious manipulation of, oh yeah, we got to go fight Iran. Should we do that for you, Israel? Of course we should. Right, Iran was behind. They were the mastermind behind the whole thing.
Right. The U.S. has sent Biden's energy envoy, Amos Hochstein, who was born in Israel, to try to reach a diplomatic solution between Israel and Hezbollah, but no progress has been made. U.S. officials also told Politico that the administration is drawing up plans to respond to a protracted regional conflict. Lebanon is just one area where Israel's assault on Gaza is spilling out into the region, as the U.S. and its allies are threatening to strike the Houthis in Yemen over their attacks on Israel-linked commercial shipping in the Red Sea, and the U.S. is already in a low-level conflict with Shia militias in Iraq and Syria that could explode.
Oh, yeah. U.S. ain't doing shit about that, by the way. That turned out to be a big, we're not doing
well, I know. The Italy was like, yeah, you go ahead. We are going to watch it from the shore. Instead of pressuring Israel to end its brutal assault on Gaza and ease tensions with Hezbollah, President Biden is opting for regional escalation as he continues to provide Israel with full-throated military and political support.
Deep-throated, I call it.
Yes, really. And 82% of Muslim voters in America have heard that cry and decided not to vote for him. The official speaking to HuffPost reaffirmed that the Biden administration is not considering placing any conditions on military aid to Israel.
Well, why would it?
Hang on. I thought Blinken said that they're trying very hard to get Israel to quietly.
Where Israel can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So they're going, Israel, you should stop doing that. And it's like, what? But nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. They're saying it too quietly.
Yeah. I said maybe shout it while you hold back money from them.
All those old Jews, they're hard of hearing. You have anything, Keaton?
I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just an unbelievable nightmare. I mean, this is just an explosion of violence and the threat of violence. This reminds you of what Andrew Tate told Piers Morgan in that interview that he did. You know, he said we were told Trump was this madman who was going to get us all killed, and since he's been gone, we've had nothing but violence and death and war and threats. And I mean, you really just get the sense this can't go much longer. Like, it can't go much longer. We said on our show last night that, you know, we think if Biden gets a second term, which is thankfully pretty unlikely, but if he were to get a second term, he would probably at this rate go down as an even more destructive president than George W. Bush. If he spared a second term, Bush will probably go down as being worse. But if Biden got 2 terms, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. If there's even a history to go down in after Joe Biden is done.
He'd be the funniest. He would be.
Go ahead, Kurt.
He beat W. Bush in being the funniest, the most hilarious. Like right now, he's doing
especially at 86 or whatever he's going to be. Yeah. Well,
he's not going to finish that term. Like, on the very off chance that he won, you're getting President Harris.
Right. Well, then it's definitely the funniest.
That at least will be good for our business.
Should have a show called On the Spot.
That will be the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, On the Spot with Kamala Harris. Just, I didn't realize I was supposed to speak about anything. Let me make something up. We should do what we have done.
America, World War III has begun.
A friend in need.
Come see us do a live stand-up show. We'll be in Venice, California, Palmdale, California, Omaha, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Lansing, Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Boston, Massachusetts, and we're going to Europe. Do you live in Europe? We're going to be there. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.